Hey guys, it's Caleb. Just wanted to let you know, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this episode is actually part of an ongoing series that we do behind the Patreon called All This for $10 with MLYP. We thought we would unlock it for you guys because we know it's been a bit of a slow summer. Plus, we wanted to remind you guys that we're doing this along with some other bonus content and extra episodes of the show at patreon.com/killthecomputer. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoy the show.
Bring in from the audio.
That's just how you start.
Yes, how do I start is by starting the episode by going, how do I start? Hello, everybody. Welcome back behind the pain wall. Your boy MLYP here. We're talking, this is a certified guy I don't like episode where
Is that like a new series you're doing? Because I like that it was titled like that.
Guy I don't like. Yeah, so as always, there's slideshows for y'all. And this is titled Guy I Don't Like, Palmer Luckey. And it might be a great series. If you like it, please let me know. And we can always do more guys that I don't like. It's not even like boiling hatred. It's just a guy that I just kind of dislike on a general level. And we'll go from there. Hey, Caleb. Hey, June.
Hey. How's it going? I just wanted to say straight off, and I kind of feel the same about this guy. It's just like he's a guy I don't like. I don't have like seething rage for him, and I think that's why I've never done like a deep dive into him. He's like kind of a freak. He does bad things. He's a bad dude objectively, but he sort of is in the background. He's like an auxiliary type figure. I feel like in the world of like evil tech type people that we've seen in the last
sort of tertiary pervert.
Yeah. So I've just like I don't have I have feelings about him negatively, but I don't have strong feelings in any particular way like I do for like Elon Musk, you know.
So I kind of think
we're here to change that, June.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Like, you know, when you're watching a movie and John Leguizamo turns up and you're like, hey, it's that guy I like to see.
He's like the GOAT. Yeah,
it's like the opposite of that, right? It's like a guy I hate. It's like he turns up.
This is John Leguizamo in The Pest when he's wiping his ass with a sock, like early John Leguizamo.
Oh yeah, this looks like a sock wiped on an ass right here. Slide 3. Here we go.
I hate his fashion sense. Jesus Christ.
I hate him, dude. We let too much shit slide. Guys like this used to be pariahs, and now they're running the fucking world. This sucks.
So for context, so when you first said that we were talking about him today, my immediate first thought was the Wyatt Coke son, like that fail son Coke son, that redhead Coke son, who dresses cool exactly shirts. Like this.
Yeah, except
Wyatt the like cool Hawaiian shirts.
Like Wyatt has that shit on. Palmer hates wearing socks, as you can tell. So Palmer Luckey is an entrepreneur, video game guy, and potentially a war criminal. So I wanted to kind of go through some of that stuff.
A good reminder that all gamers are ontologically evil and should be.
Yeah. So
yourself included.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Is 6 months younger than me, and I don't really know how to feel about that. He is born September 19th, 1992. He is the co-founder of defense technology company Anduril Industries, and he's the founder of Oculus VR. Designer of the Oculus Rift, which is virtual reality headsets, if you haven't heard of those before. And he's widely credited as like reviving VR, because before Oculus came about, the most like common VR thing ever sold was like Nintendo's Virtual Boy, which kind of blinded you.
It was awesome, but extremely risky. Yeah. I did love mine.
Yeah.
You had one?
I did.
Oh, hell yeah. Did you see the recent, like very slight divergent before I go into the other tangent that I already planned? Did you see that they brought it back for the Nintendo Switch recently? They made like a little remake version. And then I remember doing my once a month checking in on Dark Side Phil, and he was trying to stream it, except it was just a video of him looking into the Virtual Boy. And you couldn't see any of the gameplay. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That's so awesome.
He's the greatest gamer of all time.
I have to believe it's a bit, otherwise I will lose all hope.
I like that they brought it back so they could harm a new generation of children.
Yeah. So, side note, what's up with all these nerds naming their war crime or financial crime companies after Lord of the Rings words?
It drives me crazy because it's like the classic tweet, the torment vortex. Don't create the torment vortex or whatever it is. The warnings were there the whole time. Don't create the torment nexus.
Yeah.
And then they make the torment nexus. But I think it's like ultimately, I think it's just because they're like, this goes hard. And I think there's like a little bit of a cheeky aspect where they like kind of know that like, ooh, this is like a surveillance company. Isn't this kind of goofy? Isn't this kind of cheeky?
I think that like people that get into tech and stuff like that largely don't understand and certainly don't value humanities or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so they view the world, and for the record, I love Lord of the Rings. I love all those books. I've read them multiple times throughout my life. But they are, at their core, a sort of binary of good versus evil. There's not a lot of like nuance in the characters in the main story or whatever. It's good versus evil. And I think that nerds just kind of like sort of by their default don't think about nuance like that. So it's Andril, it's the good guy's sword, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think people like Elon Musk especially think of themselves explicitly as like the good guys.
Yeah, a lot of them are like orbiting around Peter Thiel. So Peter Thiel has Palantir, which is like the spooky seeing stones. Like the one that was on top of the spooky stone. And then he also has Erebor Bank, which is named after the mountain where Smaug lives. So like all of these guys that like swirl around him do all these others. So like Palmer Luckey is very connected to Peter Thiel, so he has Anduril and Erebor. There's Valar Ventures, which is a Thiel-backed thing off the top of my head. Nehra Capital and Limbus Capital. Nehra is like one of the stones, and Limbus Capital's the bread. Like it's all just like, let's just pick a cool sounding Lord of the Rings word.
Bread Capital, Elf Bread Capital.
Elf Bread Capital, brother. There's going to be immediately a Lord of the Rings.
Which one's Erebor? I don't recognize that. I recognized all the others. What's Erebor?
Erebor Bank is it's bank owned by Palmer. So Palmer owns it. It is a nationally chartered bank. It's FDIC insured. So it is like for all like intents.
Do we know what Erebor is in the Lord of the Rings stuff? Yeah, I don't recognize it.
Smaug's mountain. So Smaug lives there.
Oh, that's the one. Smaug. Okay.
Yeah. So the big hoard of gold in the mountain, right? So they specialize in providing financial services for defense companies and cryptocurrency companies. So bad shit.
But a legitimate bank at the very least.
Question mark? On paper, legitimate bank. Like it's FDIC insured and has like it's fully chartered and everything. It's just like
someone needs to open a bank that deals exclusively in NFTs, exclusively in apes.
Basically, that's what this is. So let's start with Oculus, I guess. Like this is where Palmer got his start. So he was homeschooled in Long Beach, California. So we can squarely blame everyone in Long Beach, including guys like Avenged Sevenfold. But he was a VR enthusiast who had been experimenting with headsets in his parents' garage and was like wanting to build immersive prototypes. So he started doing things like phone repair, boat cleaning, and was active on the Meant to Be Seen 3D forums. And by the time he started Oculus, he'd built like a huge private collection of like primitive VR displays. Like this was his thing. This was his gimmick. Was what he was
straight
into.
Straight off the bat, point, I'm not like
I've seen some of these older videos. He was vaguely likable, if like a little gamer coded at this point. And they launched.
He looks like he should have been in Stranger Things in that photo. That very young photo of him. And like what I'll say straight off the bat is like VR technology, not really my thing, not into it. Only used it like twice, maybe in my entire life. Don't own one. But like objectively speaking, I think that's like kind of cool tech that like was being developed in a time before all tech became evil. And like I just don't think VR has really taken off. I think what VR has been really good for, which is maybe where this is going, is war. Is like for like military purposes, I think. But yeah,
like before like Zuckerberg decided to go, you're going to wear a VR headset to do your meetings. Like it was, way more gamer coded, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
I do like VR. I'm a VR, not a truther. I haven't touched mine in forever, but I did enjoy my Oculus for what it's worth. They have a Madden NFL game where you can be the quarterback in first person.
Oh, that's
fucking sick. Blade and Sorcery is another one that I played many hours. That's the one I'm sure you probably all seen where you're like in their arena and you can like chop people's heads off and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've done a lot of Super Hot. A lot of Super Hot.
I haven't played that one, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's just, I think that
it's kind of a hassle.
Well, Zuck also bought it for meetings. He instead of developing it for games and continuing to make it cool as something people would want to buy, he was like, no, let's make it LinkedIn.
Yeah, everyone is going to have a legless avatar. That's going to be the future.
Yeah.
Dog.
Do you hate going into the office and seeing humans? Well, good news.
Yeah.
You can see humans from home. So Oculus actually is a Kickstarter success story. Like it really is. They launched in August 1st, 2012, after founding the company with a couple of co-founders. They wanted $250,000, and they actually ended up raising nearly 2.5 million. So 974% of gamers wanted VR at this point, right? Like it took them 24 hours to 250,000.
So everyone who donated to that is the reason why they invented a new war criminal because of donating to him. So everyone who did that, that's on you.
So the co-creator Doom, John Carmack, got a Rift and demoed it at E3 that year as well. He's basically genuinely, I would call him the most respected engine programmer alive. He is such a good coder. Vouching for he's a teenager at this point, a teenager's headset. Carmack later became the CTO, and then they got a lot of venture capital funding.
Oh wow.
16 million in 2013, and then 75 million from my good friend Mark Andreessen.
Friend of the pod.
Eggman.
Mark Andreessen Horowitz. Dear Lord.
Yeah, Mark Andreessen, and I can't remember the other guy. Horowitz is the other person. So but basically now he's in the Thiel sphere immediately, right? But he then sold to Facebook. And it's all downhill from here. Sold it 2 years later to the Zuck for $2 billion.
Honestly, he was smart for that.
Beast mode.
He had to have known at this point that Zuckerberg is great at burning cash. So he was like, I'll just take whatever I can get.
Yeah, 400 million cash, 23.1 million shares of Facebook stock valued at 1.6 billion at the time, and 300 million earnout tied to milestones. So
wow.
There was testimony around Zuckerberg agreed to pay 700 million in retention for key people to stay on board, because usually when your company is brought, your key performers will be contracted to stay on for a set period of time, because it's not just the IP you're buying some of the talent. So they'll offer you bonuses to stay. So the cost was a bit closer to 3 billion with a B. So that's a 35 to 150 times return to Oculus shareholders, depending on how long they've held the stock, because Facebook's only really gone up since then. The people that crowdfunded this were really pissed, really, really pissed, because they don't have any rights.
I would imagine.
Kickstarter, you don't get equity, you don't get any kind of stake in the company. You just kind of brought a headset, but you're one of those 9,000 people thinking you've crowdfunded an indie gamer's dream, and then 18 months later it's sold off to the Zuckerberg.
That must sting a little bit, but it's also I feel like when you give, the reason I think you said why this is a Kickstarter success story is, more notably, there are a lot more Kickstarter failures. So I feel like if you're donating money to a Kickstarter, you have to at least have in the back of your mind. And I guess this was earlier. This was an earlier time in 2012, 2013. So there was a lot less obvious failures. But I feel like if you're donating to a Kickstarter, you got to be like, okay, this is in God's hands now.
I think 2012 was peak Kickstarter. 2012 is 15 years ago at this point, right? Sorry to point that out. But that's when I think horrifying. Kickstarter was at its peak. I was posting up a storm yesterday saying that Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty is 9 years old.
Dear God.
And that got so many people mad at me that it was
no, you're right though. 2012 was sort of peak Kickstarter year. Sorry to go back to that, because I think that's when Anamanaguchi did their Endless Fantasy Kickstarter, and then that came out the next year in 2013. So it was just a big year for Kickstarters that period.
Yeah, like a bunch of Sundance films off the top of my head were like kickstarted as well. Like it's like a very crazy time. But
it really felt like it was like a big cultural thing. It was sort of how you got noticed too. I mean, obviously like Oculus, that's how they got noticed. I think it was just like a great way to do like, indie funding for projects that you want, but also just like good for wider
There was
PR.
discovery built into it. So my band at the time did a pre-order on Kickstarter, and we did it. We had already paid and everything. We were paid up for like the recording set, studio and everything. We just did it as like a pre-order thing for that specific reason, because there was so much activity on like the homepage and whatnot, and it worked.
God,
So,
it was just huge.
It was the year of the Kickstarter. Actually, it was a very good year for Kickstarter. I just got a quick list here. So remember the Pebble smartwatch?
Hell yeah, dude!
A new game from Double Fine. Star Citizen launched in 2012.
Oh yeah, baby!
And the Ouya.
The Ouya, yes.
Yeah.
Some heavy hitters there.
Heavy hitters in the realm of Kickstarter. So, friend of the show, I assume, Marcus Notch Persson, the creator of Minecraft.
Oh yeah,
long time friend.
Love
of the
that
show.
guy.
Immediately and publicly cancel plans to bring Minecraft to Oculus. When it was sold.
Crazy.
Facebook stock dropped 7% off the back of that, and some Kickstarter backers withdrew their display kit 2 orders because they were just being sold as dev kits. So they were just sold as like VR dev kits at that point. There wasn't a consumer facing version yet. Redditors were like mourning the death of Oculus already.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
What was the 7% drop in Facebook stock? Was that seen as like, why is Mark Zuckerberg buying this thing, or is this like
investors shed shares? Usually when you like are selling Facebook shares off to people, it comes with a drop in stock price.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
When you're acquiring something. But and this article's here from Game Informer, and it says like, it was a surprise purchase, 400 million cash, 1.6 billion in stock. Their stock price dropped a bit in response to that. And basically Game Informer just says, it dropped with no real none of issue. I think it's more of like, you've just kind of diluted our stock a little bit for that part.
Gotcha.
Is kind of the main part. And it's kind of is what it is. Stocks aren't real is kind of where we can kind of come for. Like they will just drop for no reason. My favorite example.
I mean, we've seen, especially in this administration currently, Trump can just sort of be like, this is a good stock, everyone buy it, and then everyone buys it and it goes up. And then he's like, we got oil's back from Iran with the straits opened, and then stocks bump up like 3%.
And now somehow his fucking 20-year-old son is worth $15 million or whatever.
150 million, I think.
Is it 150? Fucking Fred.
I think so.
It's fucked. My favorite example of stocks aren't real is the WWE, when they did a TV gimmick where Vince McMahon got into a limo and his limo exploded, and it was a storyline. WWE stock dropped off the back of that.
That's right. I think we talked about that on here.
Dude, that's so awesome.
Stocks aren't real.
I like the implication that people really thought he died.
Yeah.
He really thought he blew up.
It's that scene in The Simpsons where Martin runs soy, 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 but Vince McMahon dying in the limo.
So what does a 22-year-old do with hundreds of millions of dollars? What is the pivot off of the back of this, right? Like personally, I would just retire. I'd be done. Like I'd be like, what's his name from MySpace Tom. I'd be off just doing whatever. Palmer decided
I'd be like funding the Houthis or something. I don't know. I would do something like that,
Palmer is kind of funding the Houthis, but they're American Houthis.
Yeah.
In 2016, the Daily Beast revealed he was financially backing an org called Nimble America, which is a self-described social welfare nonprofit that existed to push pro-Trump and anti-Hillary shitposting. The group was co-founded by two moderators of r/the Donald.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I totally forgot that like early era Trump type of guy, they would call it like themselves like centipedes,
nimble
or, like,
navigators.
Nimble. Yeah, I totally forgot about that, dude.
Yeah, they were centipedes, dude.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm not surprised that Palmer Luckey that early on was like really into Trump.
Yeah. Look,
that's the most obvious thing ever.
He admitted to a $10,000 donation, and if you put that in like my net worth, it's like me giving someone $1. But like, you know, their big stunt was the billboard of Clinton reading "Too big to jail," and he was posting under the Reddit persona "Nimble Rich Man," using a password given to him by the group's founders. He is still active on Reddit under his real name and is really thin-skinned. If you talk about him, by the way.
Can you block on Reddit? Would he block me if I call that out?
Yeah, he might. So I found this. I stumbled across this like a month ago, and like people were discussing. He's got some more game.
What's his real name? That's really, we know it's him.
It's him because he's done AMAs, like verified AMAs. Ask me anything.
I am gonna find him and respond to him in real time here.
Hell yeah. So he's got like this like mod retro company, which we'll talk a little bit about. But it's like basically yeah.
Sorry, go on.
It's a 2026 re-release of the Nintendo 64, basically. And they're competing against another company, and this post was about like, hey, what's the difference between the two? And there's a post going, one's made by a war criminal, and the other you probably only need if the Nintendo 64 is your fave console. And then Palmer comes through going, and what war crime is that?
And he's being downvoted. He's negative downvotes on that
no
one.
No one likes this guy.
He's too weird for the weird nerds.
He's too weird for the guys that are desperate for a Nintendo 64 revival.
You're kidding. He is currently active as of yesterday, fighting about whether or not, like, just stupid shit. Not even like somebody posted a quote about like whether or not AI boosters should be supporting UBI. It has nothing to do. It's not even an insult. And he's in the comments being, I never said this. Why are you lying? Like, he's crazy about his own reputation.
I think it's fascinating that we have had a Reddit Elon Musk. Like, you know, people are always like, oh, he's so Reddit. But Palmer Luckey is literally the Reddit Elon Musk in that he is always online on Reddit, posting and responding to people every day, like 700 replies.
Yeah. So he was conspicuously absent from the keynote at Oculus Connect 3 in October 2016. Zuckerberg was there. Other co-founders were there. He was not. Several developers of games said they'd withhold their apps as long as Luckey was employed there. So this was in like the middle of Woke 1. Like, you know, people really weren't a fan that he was funding Trump. Facebook declined to punish him.
I mean, this time especially, it wasn't even just like a cultural, like people were, you know, whatever you want to call woke one, but tech companies were still like, you know, aligned generally with like Obama world and like liberal in that way. Yeah.
I think it's more fair to say it was like Obama world. We're in Obama world. Like woke one. We weren't there yet.
Because a lot of these people really came up in the Obama era, and they had those close connections to like that era of the Democratic Party.
Yeah. In March 2017, he announced he was leaving. He told CNBC it was not his decision to leave. His lawyer argued Facebook broke California law by punishing him for political activity, and Facebook settled for around $100 million with him. So he got more money out of it, which is nice.
Goddamn.
Welcome, Gary Johnson, to the podcast.
What?
Yeah, dude.
I don't think about this guy ever. I did not expect to see him here today.
Yeah, I bet we could get him as a guest on our show, probably.
Yep. So a 2018,
I'll reach out. I'll send him an email.
A 2018 Wall Street Journal report citing people familiar said he was put on leave and then fired. And then in fall 2016, Zuckerberg and other executives pressured him to publicly voice support for Gary Johnson.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wait.
Like straight up, like Zuckerberg was
they were like, you have to support Gary Johnson,
or
come
out and publicly endorse Gary Johnson, or we'll fire you.
That's so awesome.
I mean, honestly, I feel for him here. I would never want to fucking do that. That would be embarrassing to endorse Gary Johnson. Like that would be horrible. Like what a fucking, like, you know, Trump is bad enough, but like Gary Johnson's a different kind, like type of pathetic here.
So let's talk about Anduril, Flame of the West, which is like, when you realize that, it's like subname really on the nose, brother. Jesus. Founded in California by Palmer Luckey, Trey Stevens, Matt Grimm, Joe Chen, and Brian Schimpf. Luckey is the founder and public face. Schimpf is the CEO. Trey Stevens was a partner at Peter Thiel's Founders Fund. So,
I know about that guy. He's a freak. Trey Stevens is insane.
Yeah. So the core thesis of this company, are you guys aware of much about Anduril?
You know, I know that it's like weapons manufacturing. I don't know. Like I said up top, I actually really I've not really looked into Anduril too much. I don't know a lot about it other than it's like a weapons company.
Yeah. Anything for you, Caleb?
Just that they're making like what do you call it? Unmanned weapon systems is the goal, which is very, very concerning. And I think also, don't they like sort of fund their operations through like retro consoles and stuff?
Through those retro retro Nintendo 64s. Hell yeah.
Come on.
Or so their core thesis, right? And Palmer's really like on the nose about it. Mass producible software-defined autonomous weapons built around AI. He thinks that like American manufacturing is dead in a ditch, which he isn't wrong, and he's trying to fix that. So they're trying to like put sensor data and all this other stuff into their AI command and control center and let it rip. The co-founders, by the way, are on the Goop podcast with Gwyneth Paltrow, like very recently.
Yes. Like I know vaguely a little bit about Gwyneth Paltrow and like the Goop podcast, but she just had like Sam Altman on recently too. She is like shameless, the type of people she has on. But just imagining her being like, yeah, we have to talk about modern defense systems and AI with noted war criminal Trey Stevens and Palmer Luckey. I cannot imagine what that would sound like.
No, she just had a private dinner in the Hamptons with what's his name from OpenAI, like
Sam Altman.
Sam Altman. They had like a private dinner at her house that like celebs could go to recently. Like, what is up with fucking Gwyneth Paltrow right now?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah,
you guys are. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not kidding, dog. Like
my prediction, she's gonna start a new weapons manufacturing company called Goop International.
Goop
yeah, like he was doing dog.
I think I gotta listen to this, but it might kill me to do that. I might actually die if I listen to Trey Stevens talk to the
I
Goop
am so
lady.
Curious.
Trey Stevens and Gwyneth Paltrow for an hour.
Yeah, dude.
Sounds horrible.
So I want to talk about Lattice real quick. So Lattice is like their AI software that they're pushing. So what I can tell you is that it doesn't work that well. Is from what I've seen. So like the most obvious, the most like known one is they were doing Navy exercises off California in 2025. A dozen unmanned boat drones, which look cool. Like I think from like, you know, the Chud 12 roomies, like, hell yeah, that boat drone looks cool. They just like dropped their instructions. Like more than 10 of them just went, we're gonna go idle mode now, and became dead weight on the water, and they had to be towed back to shore. Sailors on the scene,
dude.
Yeah, sailors on the scene raised alarms about like safety violations and loss of life. Like imagine like if that was autonomous or like full of explosives, because you know Ukraine's been doing a lot of like kamikaze sea drones recently. Like what if they were like, what if this happens at some point with explosives filled ones, is kind of the big raise there. Lattice is so, I hate the way they write it. Like this whole paragraph here is like straight up from their website.
It's like marketing. It's how they market this shit, basically.
Yeah. The automated kill chain is what they're trying to go for. Like sensor to decision, automated kill. A weapon is queued to respond, and it goes off without a human responding. They also make things like the Fury, which is a collaborative combat aircraft. in serialized production. It's firing live air-to-air missiles now as of July 10th. Vertical takeoff interceptor drones to kill other drones, and autonomous surveillance towers. So they actually have these deployed across the southern US border and classify border crossings with no human operator.
Dear God.
Yeah. Low-cost cruise missiles, ghost drones, loitering munitions. The autonomous surveillance towers are interesting in that they have been accused of increasing the death rate of people crossing the southern border. So people are avoiding those areas because they've been deployed in the place where there's the higher traffic, and the higher traffic's the easier place to cross. So they're going through the harder to cross areas with no sensors and lack of water.
See, this is probably a perk for a lot of people in the current administration and these technology companies as well. They don't really value anyone's lives. They people like Trump, Stephen Miller would prefer if people would cross illegally and die. It's just sort of, it's bleak as fuck to say that, but it's just true.
Yeah, it's a bonus, right?
Yeah.
He's working with Meta again. This is like the most recent thing they're making.
Sorry to interrupt. That helmet looks insane.
And that's Palmer. You can tell by the shirt. We're on slide 33 if you're following along at home. It's called
I do love that he has a really iconic, horrible look.
Yeah, it's called Eagle Eye, and it merges like Reality Lab hardware. So that's like your Oculus Rift for modern hardware with Anduril's Lattice. Luckey's line is, "I'm glad to be working with Meta once again," and his stated mission is to turn warfighters into technomancers.
Why are all these people like this? Why are they all so annoyingly dorky? I'm like okay, I think all of us here, like, we're all dorks. We all play games. We all like have like our whatever interests. We're all nerds. But why do these dorks gotta be like evil? Why do they have to? What they talk about things in such a way that just makes me want to like it just makes me want to throw up. Turn people into technomancers. What the fuck do you mean, dude?
Yeah, most of this is made in Ohio at Arsenal One. So they fitted out a factory for $1 billion to hit their production volume. So they are ripping out a lot of weapons at the moment. They are quite active and have some pretty high end contracts.
Oh God!
The big part, I think, for like the back half of this episode is talking about like some autonomous weapon ethics and like where a lot of these accusations of that's getting a little close to war crimes, buddy, is coming from.
Gotcha.
So a recent flashpoint between Anthropic and the US government. Ed Zitron did a lot of this recently. Anthropic shout out to Ed. Anthropic wanted to guarantee its AI wouldn't be used for like lethal autonomous weapons or mass surveillance of Americans. In response to the Department of War, they're the Department of Defense. Fuck you. I'm not giving into your thing. I have started like actively just going, no, the Department of Defense. Blacklisted Anthropic.
There are acceptable things to dead name. Department of Defense is one of those.
So Luckey sided with the government, arguing that if the US limits itself while China builds autonomous weapons faster, the US loses, is where he's at. And it's like, okay, but it still kind of sucks, dog.
That's been like one of the main arguments from a lot of tech companies recently, especially the like AI data centers, that whole world is that if we stop developing at a rapid rate without any oversight and, you know, like any ethics, is that we'll be like killed by China, which I have not seen to be like proven the case at all or demonstrated in any capacity. We're just supposed to be afraid of China for some reason.
Yeah. Like he thinks Palmer has come out saying like there should be a human in the loop, like the software is not making life or death decisions without a person who's directly responsible for that happening. But like that goes against like the stated goal of Lattice and what like the parts we just kind of went over, like, you know, a weapon is queued to respond fast as soon as it goes for us. Like, so you just having it go through the entire kill chain and then have someone at the end press a button or what? But he's not very public about that kind of thing. Like his more recent statements have been like he's describing a future of large numbers of systems with billions of robots. And you can't have those acting independently if they have to be individually piloted. So like autonomy is going to happen.
So he wants autonomy, or he wants like a swarm type of technology?
He wants a swarm where like, he wants like a human in the loop, but there must be a massive swarm of robots doing their own thing. And like, it's very incoherent.
That's horrifying. Something I am like low key afraid of, but not enough to like really start freaking out about it, is just the concept of like drone swarms.
Yeah.
And how easy it is to create drones these days. Like, yeah. I'm not worried. I have to imagine if we get to a point where like whichever like country has drone swarms, that it'll be like fine. Who fucking knows? But just like the concept of that technology where there is a lot of explosive drones that are all functioning as a swarm is like objectively pretty terrifying. It does not surprise me when people find out about the development of military technology that they're like, wait, how about let's stop building data centers? How about we need to have like some ethics here? How about let's slow the fuck down? Because it's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, like I saw, like, you see all those like Chinese drone displays where they're doing like light shows with drones.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and go, hang on.
That's like cool, but wait a second, they're all like a swarm.
Yeah. And then recently I saw someone signed out of like, I think they're at MIT. They just got like picked up immediately for a job at like Boeing or Lockheed Martin because they invented drone software that could find a missing hiker in the woods.
Oh, and then that's horrifying.
Which I'm like, great for like search and rescue. Great. Change hiker. Now you've got a autonomous kill drone that you can deploy to the woods, and it'll kill a guy. It's like, shit.
Oh God, yeah. See, it's like all of this just is terrifying, and it's like, imagine what the US will do if we get that first. Why are we supposed to be only scared of China? Why shouldn't we be afraid of our own government having this technology also?
Yeah. So autonomous weapon ethics, 270 plus international organizations and the UN Secretary General have deemed lethal autonomous weapons morally repugnant and demanded a binding treaty ban. The US has obviously refused to sign. And Anduril has lobbied against binding human oversight requirements, which immediately cuts against anything Palmer says, right? Like, that's just like, pick one. You're either for it or against it, and you can't really go for either.
You know what I think he's really for is making money is probably what he's really for, and power.
So I did briefly talk about like the US border. So they have their autonomous surveillance towers underpinned by lattice at the south of the border. So geographers Samuel Chambers, Jeffrey Boyce, and Sarah Lanius have found that deaths in the Arizona desert have risen sharply as crossing is funneled into more lethal terrain, directly as a result of these surveillance towers from Anduril.
Horrible.
They also have maritime versions deployed into the English Channel for small boat crossings, which critics say pushes people into more dangerous routes there as well. So this guy sucks, basically. Yeah. Like he
likes when people dies. It's good for his bottom line.
Yeah. And then I had to put in a slide here. He is a radical Zionist who dismisses the ethno-state adjacent critique. And he's pledged Israel his unqualified support. So more of like, we kind of could probably kind of tell, but that's kind of where he is.
They probably pay him a lot of money too. They probably use Anduril's technology. Yeah.
So a lot of automated disregard for human life is kind of where we're at.
See, again, I just go back to can like data center defenders and AI defenders really not see why people are scared and like backlashing against technology? Because I think it's fairly obvious why.
I think, and now let's talk about the loop of money and power real quick. So emails obtained by The Guardian have shown he has raised $5.9 million for Republicans in recent years, hosting fundraisers for at least 20 GOP politicians, including Trump. He and his wife posted Trump for lunch at their mansion with VIP seats for $150,000. He's a major GOP fundraiser at this point. Like, he's doing a lot of money for wealthy Republicans. Did a Keep the Senate fundraiser recently with 50,000 a head table seats, including Senate Majority Leader John Thune was there.
Dear God. So he's just like, I mean, he's not even like pretending to be like, oh, you made me anti-woke, you made me this way, like Elon Musk does.
No, he's always
just sort of like straight up. Essentially.
Yeah.
He was a fledgling centipede.
So Anduril has doubled revenue to $2.2 billion in 2025, and earlier this year, the Army awarded it a $20 billion sole source contract. And consolidate. So that's $2 billion a year. So that was like a 10-year agreement, consolidating 120 procurement vehicles into like just them. So like they used to have 120 different suppliers. All of it's now going into Anduril. So we're kind of kind of scary. None of this is illegal. I have to be, like, part of me always has to. Defense like manufacturers like Lockheed and RTX donate and lobby like just as hard. He's not out of the loop on this. He did donate $500 to AOC in 2024.
What? Why?
They refunded the money as soon as it's found out. Like, no, I can't find anything on the record about it. It's probably just him like trolling more than anything else.
Why would he do that? What was the troll? What how did he owe AOC?
I'm giving AOC $500.
Like, it'll like make her look bad if people find out. Is that like, that has to be what
I
the
think
play was?
Maybe just publicity on the fact that the news will write about the fact that she got it and turned it down or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cheap publicity for him.
That's based in Epic.
To Vice Signal, to Vice Signal himself is the one based in Epic.
God, I hate these tech billionaires, dude.
Yeah, and then obviously Erebor Capital. The logo sucks. You have billions of dollars. Hire a good designer, you fucking loser.
You know what I will say? I'll give him some credit here. At least he didn't use AI to generate that.
Yeah. So in 2025,
it's a low bar. That's a fucking low bar.
Very low bar.
I had to hand it to him though.
So in 2025, he launched Erebor, backed by Peter Thiel's Founders Fund.
Of course.
A digital-only bank aimed at crypto, AI, defense, and manufacturing. He calls it a farmer's bank for technology. So do you guys remember the Silicon Valley Bank that like fucking exploded out of nowhere? Because they were
there was a bank run back in like 2022 or 3 or something like that under Biden. Yeah.
So it's a straight up replacement for that is what he's going for. So they're
good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Awesome. That's really great to hear.
That's what he's aiming for. So they're in Columbus, Ohio, just miles from Arsenal One. Again, named after the Lonely Mountain, where the treasure is reclaimed from the dragon's mouth. You wanker.
There was a lot of stuff that I gave credit for, especially at the time before October 7th, before like that whole the genocide in Palestine under Biden started. I would give Biden some credit. He did some good things. I think other than how he handled Israel Palestine, I think the worst thing he did was bailing out that fucking bank. Do you guys fucking remember when all of these tech people went on Twitter and they're like, please, Biden, please help us, save us, please. Everything's gonna collapse if you don't pay us, if you don't bail this fucking bank out. And they moved to.
And they didn't, he didn't get anything from it. Like, they all hate libs even more now.
Yeah, they fucking bailed out this entire industry, all these fucking freaks. And they immediately were like, okay, now Trump is our guy. It's like, what was that move, Biden? You're a fucking idiot.
So they were approved really quickly for their bank charter. It only took 4 months, June 2025 to conditional approval in October, which from my readings is quite quick. That is the first new national bank charter under the current administration. And it was framed as like, they're really, crypto friendly as an administration, which they have been. I think there was a press conference like last week where he was like naming a crypto company for some reason, and like met like a Kelce bet. Fucking hate Kelce.
Under Trump in particular, they have basically ended every investigation into every single crypto firm possible. I don't know if you know about like the way he has his own crypto set up. So he'll take in donations from countries like Qatar, and he'll basically just funnel money through his crypto. So it's not even just that he's really crypto friendly. He's basically doing the largest corruption scheme known to mankind as a president of the United States with crypto.
Yeah, like feel free to put monkey noises over this one, but like I saw Robert Evans, behind the bastards Robert Evans, posting recently saying that like there needs to be like genuine like death penalty on the table for some of these people when we're done.
Totally, totally agree with that.
My boy was posted that out on Blue Sky, so I'm fine very much repeating that one. But I saw that and I went, I agree, Robert Evans.
It's disturbing. It's genuinely disturbing that we are supposed to exist in society with these people.
Yeah. So that bank's with 8 billion. By the way, is valued at 8 billion.
Yay!
So crazy. This guy's just getting richer. I will point out, as we come to like the last few slides, there are no charges, indictments, tribunals, nothing at The Hague for Palmer Luckey or Anderil at the moment. Like students at National Taiwan University were like protesting him, calling him an accomplice to genocide and colonialism. They're accusing him of collaborating with Palantir and Microsoft on tech used by Israel.
Obviously.
Yeah, the activist accused is like very much like me accusing a guy with blood on his hands of having blood on his hands.
Yeah.
It's fine. He was he very much muddies the definitions on like what a war crime is. Is a war crime determined by like his own quote was like, who decides? Like, is it by The Hague, by Brussels, by Dario Amodei? What is a civilian? When you're asking the term "what is a civilian," I think you've gone too far.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a bold stance. I think Palmer Luckey can be considered a war criminal.
Yeah, like it's very like he's deliberately fuzzying the lines to sidestep responsibility there.
Yeah.
There are petitions.
I also don't think he minds though.
No.
Like I really do not think he cares really.
No, like straight up, he's like. Yeah, obviously he cares. He cares being called a war criminal. If
he said on Reddit, I've learned he will respond.
Okay, that is true. He does take his image very seriously. He's very he doesn't seem to sue people, but he's very litigious with his social media.
He'll fight with you in the comments, dude.
That's hilarious.
If you're not following along with the slideshow, which you should be, but his Reddit, you could look it up. It's just Palmer Luckey with a CKUI. He, like I said, as of yesterday, was fighting with people in the comments. So anybody listening to this with a Reddit account, I didn't, but you could say like "eat shit, nerd" or whatever, and he would get mad at you and respond. Like he will.
There's a genuine non-zero chance he listens to this episode and gets really
probably.
I think that's like the only like semi-respectable thing about him is that he is fighting in the comments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only Bushido thing I've learned about this man so far.
He's either
like he does have.
Yeah.
He has that over Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk is pathetic. Like he has his like bot swarm of actual Twitter bots doing his whatever shit for him. Palmer Luckey is in the trenches. He actually is typing these things out and is like he's hot-headed. He's mad when typing.
Yeah, I think like the most substantial thing I will lay at his feet is his surveillance towers have like straight up kill people. The addition of his surveillance towers with nothing else, just putting them in so that people don't, and then people avoiding them so they don't get detected, has led to higher deaths of people moving through the desert, and that can be laid squarely at their feet. If they put in the surveillance towers and put up deterrents at the harder to detect places so that people are forced to go through and get picked up, you'd be like, okay, people haven't been killed, they've just been arrested. That's a very different conversation to, we've just put up some detection so we can go and swoop in and pick them up in our big trucks. And then people avoid it and then die in the middle of the Arizona desert is squarely a downstream effect of these towers going up. Yeah. So in 2025, they have launched a joint venture with UAE-based Edge Group to manufacture VTOL drones. In the UAE has faced recent war crime accusations over its role in Yemen. More
UAE is a horrible country. Dubai is there. That should tell you enough already.
So they have a direct partnership with a state-owned arm of a government accused of war crimes. They have recently armed Sudan's RSF, which did atrocities in Darfur. And yeah, so Edge is like straight up has done like accused of war crimes. So like these two, the border crossing and like straight up collaborating with the UAE, who themselves are war crimes, are probably like the two closest. Palmer is a war criminal accusations you can put at him. And then his general funding of the right wing part of the US government is also, in my opinion, distasteful. And that's kind of where we're at with him. Basically, this guy sucks. That's kind of where we're at.
He sucks. And I'm still at this point, I know a lot more about him. I know a lot more direct ties he has with, Israel, all of these different things that he creates for these countries that are explicitly doing war crimes, and he himself by proxy is a war criminal. And he does suck, but he is still tertiary to me. I think he is still a tertiary figure.
Yeah.
But he's horrible. I mean, this guy's a fucking horrible person.
I think we should go through the Goop podcast guest list and just sort of go down the line and do a mini behind the bastard, like a Timu behind the bastards series of the tertiary perverts, right?
Yeah,
like that Trey. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I can whip that together. Don't worry. That's I'm looking for. I've got the webs. She's got them all very handily on goop.com, so it's all good.
Yeah, dude. let's go over to Goop and find some rare perverts for the Pokédex.
Yeah, man, I'm going my favorite website, goop.com.
There's Tig Notaro. I think Tig's fine.
I don't know who that is.
I know the name. That's a journalist, right?
Yeah, and then. Dog. There's just a lot of
clothes. Her clothes are $500, and they're just like striped shirts. What are we talking about here? What? Okay, I might finally go in a deep dive into Goop world.
It's Goop, and like they've.
Is it time to go Goop mode?
I think it might be Goop mode.
Candles. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
So that's Palmer Luckey, and I hope you kind of know more about him now. It's very much like there's no real call to action here other than going, hey, bear in mind, this guy fucking sucks. And if you want to buy a retro game console, be careful you're not buying odd retro ones, because the money's going straight to Andrew, fund a drone that's going to bomb a child.
Yeah.
And Israel. Like, that's straight up where that's going for.
My call to action... So I do have one call to action. My call to action is bully him on Reddit. Make fun of him, bully him.
So you actually, I didn't go that far. I was kind of doing the mealy mouth hypothetical. You're explicitly saying to reply to him.
Yeah, bully him if you want. Okay. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to call to action at the end of this episode, if you feel like you need to do something, just bully him.
Bully him on Reddit. You know what though? That, like, if you look at like the economics of action or whatever, like if you waste his time. So he's fighting with you in Reddit comments. That's like less time he has to spend doing war crimes.
Literally, you will be. Yeah, you. That is anti-war crime activity. Okay. Bullying him.
I appreciate that so much. But thanks for coming, everybody. I hope you all had a good time.
I learned a lot. Thank you so much.
Palmer Luckey. Yeah, I think I can work on Goop. The only we can go Goop mode. Give me like a couple of minutes to look up Goop mode. I'll let it.
Okay. Yes,
but
please. We have to.
Are we going to be behind the paywall for this one? So I assume we kind of all know.
I don't know. I was thinking about maybe unlocking. We'll talk about it.
I'm no stress. But if you're behind the paywall, thank you. If this is going in front of the paywall, give us some money. I'd like some money.
Thank you for supporting the Patreon. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Y'all be good. And don't forget, the internet makes you stupid.
Real. See ya.